Shawn Diddy Combs was back in a New York courtroom where he learned his sex trafficking and racketeering trial will begin in May. He's pleaded not guilty to all the charges.
One of Diddy's attorneys won't be part of moving forward. Anthony Rico announcing in court docs, under no circumstances can he continue defending the embattled rapper.
This is a serious proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
Diddy's legal struggles have taken a shocking turn, leaving the music mogul battling forces that seem beyond his control. As his defense team scrambles to fight back, it's clear that the emotional toll on Diddy is taking a visible toll. Once a figure of power and precision, Diddy is now facing one of the darkest moments of his career. With each new development, the pressure increases. One critical moment in court, where the judge's words seemed to push him to the edge, highlighted the emotional strain of his unraveling empire. It's not only the weight of the legal system bearing down on him, but also the intensely personal stakes that have left Diddy questioning his future. The fight for his legacy is escalating, and this turn in the case might surprise you. The recent ruling that allowed sex trafficking claims to move forward in Diddy's ongoing legal battle has caused shockwaves through the music industry and altered public perceptions. While some may view this as just another chapter in an already high-profile case, the reality is far more intense. Accusations of coercion, manipulation, and trafficking are not only deeply troubling, but also carry severe legal and social consequences. For someone like Diddy, whose public persona is built on success and power, these allegations present a sharp contrast to the legacy he has worked so hard to establish. The weight of such claims cannot be overstated, especially as they threaten to tear apart the foundation of his career. As the legal proceedings drag on, it seems that the emotional toll on Diddy is becoming unbearable. With the decision to allow sex trafficking claims to proceed, the stakes are now much higher. This isn't just about money or reputation anymore. This is a battle for his freedom and his future. Once untouchable, Diddy now faces the reality of a trial that could lead to criminal charges. The accusations are gaining traction, and the man who once ruled the music industry is now dealing with the anxiety of what lies ahead. The fear that he could face serious criminal charges must weigh heavily on him, leaving him to wonder how these accusations will affect his legacy and whether he'll be able to recover from the damage to his public image. The knowledge that these allegations will be dissected in open court likely keeps him up at night. Facing such serious charges in a public trial has to be overwhelming. The prospect of endless media scrutiny and public judgment is surely wearing on him. In this high-pressure moment, Diddy might have found himself unexpectedly vulnerable. The thought of entering a courtroom and facing a judge while knowing the gravity of the situation could break even the toughest person. For someone like Diddy, who has spent his life in the public eye, the idea of being cast as the villain, perhaps even facing a criminal conviction, could be devastating. What's more, this legal battle marks a significant turning point for Diddy, where his once imposing stature is now beginning to feel fragile. The judge's decision to allow these claims to move forward serves as a harsh reminder that the consequences of his actions, whether real or exaggerated, are undeniable and must be confronted. For Diddy, the courtroom fight is no longer just about defending himself from accusations. It's become a battle against overwhelming forces that threaten to engulf him. The emotional toll of dealing with these ongoing legal struggles is immense. As the trial draws closer, Diddy may have to face the reality that these accusations could change not just his career, but his very sense of self. The judge's ruling may have been a moment of reckoning, forcing Diddy to wonder if the world he once knew is slipping away forever. The tension in the courtroom hit a boiling point when Diddy's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, was harshly criticized by the judge. Judge J. Paul Oetken didn't hold back, condemning Blackburn's motions for containing numerous inaccuracies and irrelevant insults. Such a sharp reprimand from a federal judge could have shattered anyone's composure, and for a seasoned lawyer defending one of the most prominent figures in entertainment, it was a blow to his credibility. But how did Diddy take it? As his defense unraveled under the court's scrutiny, the mogul must have felt the weight of the situation. Blackburn's public dressing down only added more pressure to an already intense case. As the legal team faltered, Diddy's emotional burden likely increased, especially knowing that his future was on the line. For Diddy, witnessing his trusted lawyer struggle in court must have been uncomfortable and unsettling. This wasn't just a legal failure, it was a personal blow to his defense's credibility. The emotional cost of that moment was undoubtedly monumental. Diddy had relied on Blackburn to guide him through these treacherous legal waters, and now that trust was being publicly questioned. Watching his attorney's reputation fall apart could have overwhelmed him, especially as the stakes grew higher. How could someone who once commanded an empire, thriving under public scrutiny, feel anything but fragile in such a situation? The growing personal attacks and reckless accusations only made matters worse. As the courtroom drama shifted away from facts and focused more on reputation, both Diddy's and his lawyers, the emotional toll was unavoidable. The judgment cast doubt not only on the strength of Diddy's defense, but also on the credibility of his case. For the hip-hop mogul, who once controlled his narrative, this was a painful reality check. Each mistake made by his legal team seemed to chip away at his carefully crafted public image, reinforcing the perception of him as a villain. The question now becomes, how did Diddy react personally? As the courtroom drama intensified and his lawyer's fate hung in the balance, Diddy may have realized that the empire he had worked so hard to build was beginning to crumble. Could this be the breaking point? The fear of legal defeat, media scrutiny, and a tarnished reputation may have finally worn Diddy down. It's easy to imagine that behind closed doors, he was confronting emotions he's rarely had to face: vulnerability, fear, and an overwhelming sense of helplessness. This trial may be the ultimate test for Diddy. As the charges against him loom larger, the emotional weight only deepens. He is not only fighting for his legacy, but for his freedom. The pressure of facing such serious allegations might push even the toughest to their limits. As the trial date draws near, Diddy's sense of vulnerability is likely becoming more pronounced. The idea that his fate is in the hands of a jury may be enough to make him crack, no matter how accustomed he is to public attention. In the face of such massive charges, even Diddy's well-honed persona may start to unravel. With so much of his life under scrutiny, both personal and professional, the emotional toll could be overwhelming. The emotional strain of a lengthy legal battle is immense. For someone like Diddy, who has always been in control, the prospect of being unable to dictate his narrative could be devastating. The thought of being publicly vilified when so much of his persona has been based on power is a painful reality. Diddy's legal team faces internal turmoil. The sudden departure of one of his key defense attorneys, Anthony Rico, raised alarms about the stability of his defense. Rico had been pivotal in representing Diddy, but he announced that he could no longer continue due to the inability to meet the court's standards. This was more than a professional setback for Diddy. It was a personal blow, leaving him questioning the loyalty and stability of those he trusted. Losing such a key member of his legal team just before the trial could have left Diddy feeling even more vulnerable. As someone who's always controlled every aspect of his empire, this loss may have amplified his sense of isolation. Rico's departure, combined with the mounting legal pressure, likely left Diddy feeling uncertain about his chances moving forward. The emotional toll of such upheaval was likely intense, with the trial fast approaching and without the full strength of his trusted legal team. Diddy faced a daunting challenge. The uncertainty about his defense strategy only compounded his fear. The battle rages on, and despite some legal victories, Diddy's emotional and mental well-being may continue to suffer. With each new case, each new accusation, the pressure mounts. The toll on his reputation and mental state is undeniable. This ongoing stress could eventually lead Diddy to confront feelings he's rarely had to address: vulnerability, fear, and a deep sense of powerlessness. The emotional cost of these ongoing legal battles is immense, and the weight of these accusations may leave a permanent mark on his reputation, no matter the outcome. Diddy's journey is far from over, and the emotional battle behind closed doors might be just as significant as what plays out in the courtroom. The storm may not pass anytime soon.